If we're a little confused, this is CD125. It was called Optimizing Mobile Strategy with Workflow and Forms. You're not in the wrong place. It's still University of Hail, and right now our title's changed to Laserfiche at University of Hail, Challenges and Best Practice in Action. You're welcome. If everyone's settled in, we'll begin. Well, first of all, I'd like to welcome everyone. I'm Sherry from Laserfiche International, and it is my pleasure to introduce you our speaker today from the University of Hail, Dr. Majed Alhaisoni, the Dean of IT and E-Learning. Dr. Majed is responsible for leading, managing, developing, and implementing IT services and infrastructure that have pushed the transition into a paperless digital university. Please welcome Dr. Majed.
Thank you, Sherry, for this nice introduction, and I do hope to have a nice presentation with my great audience. Is it clear now? Thank you, Sherry, again for this nice introduction. First of all, let me start with 3 thanking cards. I would send and convey the first card for Laserfiche, all of the employees and the CIOs, the managers in Laserfiche for selecting the University of Hail to be one of the winners on the educational sector. So I'm very thankful and grateful for their nice and brilliant, elegant selection for my university to be internationally recognized. My second thanking card, I would really send it directly to our strategic partner in Saudi Arabia and in particular in the Middle East, ISP, Integrated Solution Business, for their endless support and help for the University of Hail and for the, in particular, for us to develop and implement the Laserfiche Workflow business at University of Hail. My last thanking card will go directly to each and every single one of you, my great audience, for selecting and being here for my presentation. So thank you so much, all of you. My presentation title is about Laserfiche, and we are all here about Laserfiche and to know more about Laserfiche. So I would be so much pleased and honored to go through our challenges and the best practice we had at University of Hail to deploy and implement such great system like Laserfiche as enterprise content management system. As Sherry mentioned, I am in charge of the IT management responsibility of all the IT related subjects at University of Hail, and also I'm acting dean for the College of Computer Science and Engineering, and we will come to this in particular as a model of handling all the letters and papers by using Laserfiche. So first of all, I would, as I mentioned, just a brief abstract about my university, my organization, background about the university, and then a bit of history about the challenges in general at my university when we started actually developing and implementing different systems and services, the current status of the university, and then the strategies in action which were actually developed, implemented in my university, and lastly, the future work. So University of Hail, just a brief background for all of you about this university. University of Hail is located in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and it has started as a community college in 1998, and then later on it has been founded as a university, and that was done on 2005. And the first students were admitted at my university was on February 2006. The university at the time of preparing this presentation had 14 colleges, and different colleges at the university, different departments, different administrations. The university enrollment has grown. It's actually incorrect number. The students up to now, it's around nearly 40,000 students. So we annually admit between 7 up to 8,000 students to be actually taken in. The university has several campuses inside High City. We do actually, at the time of preparing this slides, it was 4 campuses. Each campus is a huge campus with different buildings, different college and departments. And later on, we have extended our branches to be out of the main city, the main campus. 4 campuses, 6 campuses, sorry, and 4 campuses. Now we're talking about 6 campuses. So without actually having Laserfiche, we'll be struggling a lot to send and receive all our letters from in and out of the university. So this is just a brief about the University of Hail. Now the IT services, when we started actually thinking and planning to move into an e-transaction and e-government system at our university, that was beginning of 2012. And we had only 3 or 4 e-services. And those services were very insufficient to handle all the process and the transactions at the university. So we set up the plan there. We had attended different conferences to be inspired by others' work. And we had been able, since May 2012 up to the beginning of 2013, to set up more than 25 e-services, fully integrated system. And that was a very big, successful and boost up of our university towards e-transactions. And one of the systems that I would be so pleased and honored to pick out of this bundle of e-services is the content management system. And what sort of system did we select, and why did we select that system? So this is just snapshots of all the e-services we had at the university. So first of all, before I jump into the content management system, at the university there were some challenges, some of them already sorted, some of them in progress, and some of them already planned in the future. So in general, as any newly founded university, there are certain hurdles, challenges on the infrastructure itself. So usually such universities, when they start with different heterogeneous architecture, in particular in data center, where they have different systems, different servers from different models. So such homogeneous or such heterogeneity was actually a bit of problem for the infrastructure to be unstable. The utilization of the resources wasn't utilized 100% due to the lack of resources, and also the single point failure of certain systems. So the vulnerable to threats was very high. If any system goes down, then the system all in all is down. So that was some of the challenges that we had. So we tried our level best to alleviate some of these problems by coming up with temporary solutions till we set up the complete infrastructure. The system and services, as I mentioned earlier, we had only very limited number of services. It was only 3 services, and then later on we have been able to move to be fully automated. Most of our services are e-services, e-transactions. IT staff and the human power is lack of people, lack of number of people, of professional people was one of the hurdles we had at that time, and we were able to somehow come up with certain solutions to work as a team to alleviate this problem and to bypass these issues by motivating our people and trying our level best to extend our hands to our end users to be involved in one team. Document management challenges, which is the main hot topic of this presentation. At my university, it was a big hurdle and problem in sending, receiving letters, circulating the letters among departments, assigning the tasks to those who should do it. Follow-up was a problem. So one of the systems that we were working on since May 2012, it was in the plan to have a content management system, not only to send and receive, but to have a complete workflow system that can carry out all the tasks, where you can follow up, check the status of your transactions, being transparent in all your workflow. So we thought of adopting a content management system. And why did we select Laserfiche? We had an experience with Laserfiche at early stage when they were deploying desktop-based. So there were some hurdles, problems with the desktop-based. By deploying the system, you have to visit each and every single person and client on their office to set up the system for them. So we have actually been able to assess, evaluate the Laserfiche content management system in general, and we have found that the recent versions of Laserfiche Workflow has become robust, sufficient, efficient, scalable, resilient on customizing the workflow the way you like it, the way that meet the needs of your university. So we finally decided to go with Laserfiche. So definitely there are certain challenges we had. How to automate the document workflow internally and externally within the university and out of the university if you want to send any letter. Providing a global web access, and that was one of the main goals to set up a content management system. We want to make it globally accessible. So no need to be standing at your office or downloading the system in your system on your laptop. So you might have some problems, you might have some technical issues. So not all people at any organization are aware of the system and how to handle it. So we set up the plan to have it web-based access, so you can access it as if you are accessing any website. The follow-up on transaction processing and defining inefficiencies was a problem. If you send any letter from your department to another department, to wherever the department is located at the university, you need to hand it in, and then you have no clue what is going on with this letter unless you send someone or unless you call. So there is a high probability of losing a document is highly likely to happen at any moment. So that's why we stick to content management system, and in particular for Laserfiche Workflow. Complicated workflow at university in general. There are too many departments where the letter goes at each department, and then internally within the department it is assigned to certain people. They take an action and they send it back to you, and then you can't. So actions, complications is there. So by hook or crook, you have to meet it. You have to make sure that you really set up the workflow that will meet all the technical needs of the organization. Changing environment, user role and work process. All of people were actually working on a paper-based, where they receive the letter, they take an action, they put it in the table, they send it back. So they are used to the paper system. All of a sudden you come to them and say, guys, look guys, we are moving to be working online. You have to have an account, you have to know how to use the system. So definitely reaction of the action will be there. So how to bypass this, how to alleviate it, is one of the key success story of our system, of our Laserfiche to be implemented at the university. And as I said today early morning in my interview, I said if you bring any system, even if it's the best system in the world, and being unable to deploy the system properly, being unable to get the end users involved in the system deployment, on the training, definitely by the end the system will fail, and people will put the blame on the system, and then a reputation of the system is gone. And we do have a lot of experience with different systems internationally recognized, but the end users were not collaborating, were not actually acting the way they should be helping. So by the end the system will just fail. So one of the success points that we had in our system, that the the president of the university, at the time of inaugurating and opening the system, has announced that the system will start from his office, and he won't receive from at this moment. He will stop receiving any letter, and his office will only be sending letters electronically. So everybody has to join the train, whether they like it or not, and that was actually a key point and success. Unification of organizations document management, that is very important. Now all the departments, all people at the university, they should have a unified system since morning till late afternoon, while they are working in their office. The system is unified. Even if they leave their office, they can go and work from anywhere. So why Laserfiche? That's a very important question in most of the audience. As I said earlier, we have researched different systems, and by the end, we have found that Laserfiche Workflow is proven track of success, easy to deploy. You can customize it the way you like. It's not rigid. It's not following a certain framework that you have to stick to. No, you can draw your workflow on the paper, and then you just jump, you implement it, and then you deploy it. The second minute it will be working fine. It's scalable, you can extend it the way you like. It's lenient with the end user. It's really the only system I have seen myself yet, to the best of my knowledge, that can meet the requirements of the end user without saying no, it's inapplicable. So this is one of the things that we have planned already, because we know that there is no system can meet the end user requirements 100%. You have to have customization, and I will show in upcoming slides that we have started with a very simple interface, and then we've started deploying, enhancing different interfaces until we reach up to a point of satisfaction of the university requirements. So web-based access, user no more need to be at their offices. Today morning I was working on my system. I was checking letters. I was assigning tasks for my people. I was sending and receiving. I was checking all the circulations. So from here this morning I was able to be in touch with people, and I was able to take actions, and some of them were urgent cases, should be taken straight away, and I was able to handle them while I am here, although I'm handling two departments, IT and College of Computer Science, and I'm handling all of them from here. High scalability options, and from software engineering perspective, any system to judge and adjudicate the scalability of the system, you have to try different complicated scenario. You have to test it from different perspectives, different angles, number of users. So since we started developing the system and enhancing the system in daily basis, we found that the system is scalable. No matter how many users are working concurrently, no matter how many letters you are sending and receiving, irrespective of the size of the letters you are archiving on the system, it never stops, never hanging, never freezing. You send and receive instantly as a real time, as if you're chatting with anybody else. So we have reached up to 700 users up to this moment, and the system is scaling easily without any issues. Although the workflow at my university is very complicated, the letter can go and get circulated in 10, 15, up to 12, up to 20 departments, and we had no issue from the scalability issue. Automated and organized set of tools, to implement, to develop, to deploy anything. It's just a matter of a drag and drop, and then you build your workflow, you test it, and you will see the letter is circulated very easily, or the application. Robust workflow, and I have mentioned and elaborated a bit about the workflow. You can design the workflow in different scenarios, different actions, different privilege, and by the end you will see that the workflow is going very smoothly without any issues or technical errors. Secure document management system. We have been testing this system now for almost a year, and we never had any issue with the security. All the documents are securely transmitted between the departments, between the end users, having the privacy and the of the users there. No, people are given privilege, are given rights according to the standard and according to the rights defined by their own departments. Customization options, and I think this is one of the best tools in Laserfiche Workflow, because by the end, each and every single organization, they have got their own interfaces, they have got their own business, so the need of customization is there. Most of system, it supports customization, but it very much depends on the complexity of the customization. For Laserfiche, I need actually certain people with certain qualifications, and they will be able to work on the system, having certain background on different languages, and then they can work easy. But there are certain systems only very predefined required people can work on this system, and by the end you are narrowing down your manpower, and you will have some problems on the outsourcing in particular. But on Laserfiche, anybody with highly skilled on IT can work on the Laserfiche. The knowledge transfer from Laserfiche or from the developers to my organization was very easily and smoothly going on, and we are able to transfer the knowledge to our department day by day to be 100% by the end managing the system from A to Z. User-friendly design, and we have realized this when we do the training. I don't remember a training has gone beyond 20 minutes, because to create a document, it's 3-4 steps and straightforward, either in English or Arabic, our own language, or to review a document you are receiving, it won't go more than 2 clicks. 1 click to open the letter, and the second click to take an action, and then you are over. So this is how we, from software engineering perspective, can assist and evaluate how friendly the system is. 24/7 support, it's actually granted, awarded by our strategic partner ISP, and also from the mother company, which is Laserfiche. They never hesitated. They are always there, from the top manager to the least employee at the company. They are always standing to help us. Once we send the email, we receive a reply immediately, and they even elaborate and help and advise without even asking them to give a piece of advice. So current status, we are implementing the system in 4 campuses. That was at the time of my presentation, but now plus 6 branches. So we're talking about 6 campuses now, and each campus there are too many departments, too many colleges, too many users. Number of departments is 97. Up to last week, we reached up to 120 departments are newly defined in the system. 650 users. We have already exceeded the 700, and the next phase, the plan is to go beyond 1,000, because we do have a lot of end users now involved in many tasks, so we have to provide them a license. Because at my university at the moment, having if you are actually receiving a letter and you want to hand it to any another department manually, nobody will welcome this letter. It must be sent through the system. So unfortunately, this is the case. If you have any letter, so you cannot hand it to another department, people will just say, no, I'm sorry, we cannot accept it. You have to go. If you don't have account, then you have to actually contact IT people to create an account for you, and then you will be eligible to send and receive. Otherwise, you will be in an open loop with your letter. And that's actually at my university at the moment. We have gone through different phases. The first phase is the deployment and the change management mentality of the users, and then they have admitted this, but now we have reached up to the addiction level, that when people come to their offices, before even I think they have the sip of their coffee, they open the system to see what is new, either on their own books a task to be done, or to follow up a certain letter they have sent, and they keep fingers crossed to see what is happening on their letter, because they can follow up their letters up to the closing and the status of the letter, or to see any upcoming decision at the university. So anybody now is looking and keen to have a task, so he can be granted an account to see what is going on. Otherwise, he will keep asking his colleagues what he knew about the system. So we have reached up to the addiction level now. So the user acceptance for the new system was a top-down approach, as I mentioned earlier, that the president of the university has started using the system in his office. And he has announced that he will stop receiving any letters coming manually, and his office will only be sending outgoing letters via the system, and then it has been deployed on the vice president's office. And on this chance, let me welcome my colleague, Dr. Majed Alhaisoni, who is the Vice Rector for the Academic Development and Community Services at my university. So let's just give him applause and clapping. I do indeed appreciate his coming from far from Saudi Arabia to join us on Laserfiche and celebrate this great and nice award for our university. So we welcome him here at Laserfiche. So integrating document system and services, now we have been able to integrate the system in all our departments at the university, and there is no need to set up or do any certain of configurations. What you really need is just to fill a form that you are eligible to have account, and then it will be created for you. You will log into the website as if you are logging at any website online. You will put your username and password, and then you will start using the system smoothly without any issues. And that's the beauty of Laserfiche, the beauty of having a system, web-based system. Unification of document processing workflow. This is a very interesting and amazing feature. If you create any letter, it will be given a unique number, and throughout the workflow process in all the departments, this number will be unified as a primary number key for this letter. So if you go back to search about any letter 10 years ago, you just put this number and you will see the status of the letter, the workflow, and what actions were taken in this letter very smoothly, and we will see certain interfaces showing the search. So what is the late benefits about the Laserfiche when we deploy this system in our university? Robust real-time document service. As I mentioned, it's actually as if you are chatting with any other person in another department. It's real-time, instant messaging. I send the letter, you receive it immediately at the moment, and then you just take an action and you can reply at the same time. On the past, once you create the letter, it will take some time to go out of the office, and then it will be given to a postman. He will take it there. So by deploying this system in my university, most of the postmen now have changed their role at the university. So they have changed the nature of their work. So instead of driving and circulating all the letters on the campus, now they have stayed in the office and they are given another task, and they are enjoying their life without moving and finding someone. The office is closed, and sometimes they have to keep the letters with them till the following day so they can deliver it. So the percentage and the probability of losing a letter is very high. So this system not only saving time, but we have been able to save resources. So we have been able to re-employ our people on other tasks. More transparent procedures and users. It's very transparent. You create the letter and you send it, and the procedure is very clear and transparent to you. You can see what action is taken, where is it standing exactly, what is the status of the letter from the initialization process until the end or the closing of the paper. Follow-up is made way more easier. You just access your letter by the number or the name or the outgoing inbox, and then you will see all the letters going out of your office to follow up to see where exactly they are standing and what is their status. without calling anybody or without sending any person. You can follow up easily. Safe and secure access to documents for authorized people. In our system there on Laserfiche, people are giving rights and privilege according to the procedural workflow defined at the university. Having user or having account on the system doesn't mean that you will be able to access the system and you can search all the documents. No, there are certain privilege, rights given and a rule for each end user at the university. Some of them are registrar, some of them are only a normal user, and some of them as dean, they have an access to their letters, and some of them they are given full access for the follow-up and the transparency level. So cost saving and environmentally friendly document management. As I said, we didn't only save letter printing, but also we have been able to re-employ some of our people at the university to do other jobs, and also printing services have been reduced, I'm pretty sure, to the minimum, because we don't keep printing letters at all. You generate the letter, you just sign it, and then you send it through the system, and it will be given an actions here and there. And the beauty out of the system that the letter is not copied at each level. It's only a single copy, and all the people involved in the workflow will be reading from one copy, and this will reduce the capacity of the storage and the archiving of all these letters to at least the minimum. Measurable user productivity. With this system, we are able now to evaluate performance and to measure, assess how productive our people at the university at each level, at the departmental level, the user level, the registrar level, so we can surely make sure who is producing, who is working, who is not, easily by just one click, and you will have all the statistics. This is actually at the beginning when we started deploying the system. We have started with a very simple interface, and this is the searching interface. We had some problems at the beginning, the language, the date, also the workflow between the departments were not defined properly. The workflow inside the departments, the documents definition, the circulations, how to follow up the papers were not defined at the beginning. So we were able with our strategic partner to give them all the comments of the end users, of our own comments, to work with them, to sit in one table, to talk from a technical perspective. So we started with a very simple interface, which only shows the number of the letter and the date, nothing else, and your inbox and the memo or the circulars are there. So by receiving a lot of feedback, by sitting up with the development department, we have been able to enhance our interface and add more advanced features. So from 2 columns, it's endless column. You can have the document number, the subject, the date, from where is it coming, from where is it going exactly, and what was the date and the time of routing this letter. And by the end, you can take any action. From one small window, you can maximize and minimize all the features that you want in this interface. So we have been able to make this interface scalable the way you like it, the way you want. So later on, this shows exactly when you receive any letter. By one click, you can open the letter, you read it, and then by one click, you can take an action. You can assign it to anybody, or you can send it to another department out of your department, and you can do follow-up. On the right side, you can put priority, whether it's urgent, whether it's normal letter, and then you can add any comments. There are 2 types of comments. They are not shown here because they are actually updated recently. There are internal comments, which is for privacy, internal the college or internal the department. And there are public comments and notes, which is between the departments and shown for all the users involved in the workflow. And later on, as many of our staff, and one of them moving frequently and traveling, we have been able to modify and update the web-based to be friendly on the mobile screens. So now, as you can see, the interface can be extendable on the mobile screen, and you can use that. I have taken this screenshot from my mobile. I can log in, and then it's very scalable. I can expand the interface, I can minimize it, I can take an action, I can send the letter, receive it. So we have been able to make a optimized mobile interface to use the system anywhere while you are moving. You can preview all the documents, you can check your inbox, you can follow up easily without having any laptop. And the next version, which is going to be shown in the future work, to actually deploy it on a mobile application system, so you can just download it in your mobile and then you can use it smoothly. My experience, or our experience at the University of Hail with Laserfiche, there are pros and cons, and I would actually say that both of them consequently have led to a conclusive success story, because they are not negative or positive comments. The pros, that we have been able to have 100% paperless campus. Efficient transactions, it's very efficient. You generate the letter, you prepare it, and then you send it through the workflow. It will take the whole route until the end. Transparency, it's very transparent. You put your letter, you send it through the system, and it's very transparent to you as end user or as initiator of this letter to see what actions are taking or in your letter. Web access, it has made it very easy. You can access the Laserfiche from anywhere. You can check it at your office or home or while you are traveling, because there is no need to download or set up any certain system or doing any certain configuration. The cons, or actually the hurdles, I would call it, that we have faced on deploying the system at the university is the change management. It's very common on deploying and implementing any certain system at any organization that people at the beginning will be reluctant to be responding smoothly to the system, but by the end we have been able to bypass and alleviate this. Customization and business process structure. The more we explore the system, the more we use it, the more we receive feedback from our end users, we have to do customization, and we have been able to post up and progress on the customization with the endless support of our strategic partner ISP. The workflow complexity, this complexity was actually increasing sharply in my organization, because we do have too many departments, and inside each department there is another department, another units, another sections. So the workflow is very complicated. It comes top down, down to top, and then it goes everywhere, and the letter is circulated here and there. Actions are taken, assigned to certain bodies, send it back. So the complexity of the workflow is increasing day by day. The system improvement, definitely by listening to the comments coming from the end users, by the comments coming from us as IT experts. Definitely there will be improvement on the system day by day, and I can compare the first simplified interface with the current status of our interface and our system at the moment. There is a big difference between the beginning and the current status. My experience in particular, I'm acting Dean of the College of Computer Science and Dean of IT, and I'm working smoothly in 2 different accounts from wherever I am, either in the first office, second office, at home, traveling. I'm checking both of them. I'm sending, receiving, taking action, assigning, following up, previewing all the letters smoothly without realizing whether I am here or not. The letters are going, and the work is progressing very smoothly. What is next? Definitely customization is endless, and the sky is the limit. Whenever we think about any certain thing at the university and we see it's very important, we just jump into it, and then we think of customization, because we are pretty sure that Laserfiche is so flexible, scalable, resilient. You can do whatever you want. So we are never worried about whether it's applicable or not. Optimizing mobile with every workflow and forms. This is in the next version. We are planning now and already started working on it, how to convert it to be a mobile application, a platform. Dealing with huge data, definitely day by day we keep archiving letters, sending letters, receiving letters. So definitely at certain time we will have a lot of data. That's why we actually are working on adopting a cloud computing infrastructure. We are establishing a new data center, and we are considering a cloud computing and the new architecture for the university, which will be helping deploying the system further and further, and even the scalability and the efficiency of the system will be increasing sharply with the new infrastructure. Lastly, more focus and always open hot topic security is there, and mainly in particular talking about web-based system. So security will be alerting day by day. So we are considering the security and how to make sure that the system is robust and not vulnerable for any actions taken from outsider. And also one more point is the privacy issues. Each department or user has got certain privacy, so we have to make sure that people unable to check others' accounts or being able to see what actions and or what tasks are given to certain people or in another department. So that's all what I have today for my presentation. Again, I would like to thank you all for being here. I'm so pleased, I'm so honored, honestly, to have my presentation full of people coming, and I hope it was informative and fruitful presentation for all of you. So thank you so much.
Q&A of questions. Let's see if anyone has any questions for you.
Yes, no problem.
We're going to do Q&A. Does anyone have any questions?
With this system, was there a way to distinguish between whether you just send an email or you use the Laserfiche, or was it for specific types of letters?
Sorry?
The system that you have with the Laserfiche, was it for specific types of communication, or how did you distinguish between whether or not you use that or use email, or did it replace email?
Okay. So for the Laserfiche in my university, we have mainly used the system for in-out communication system between all the departments at the university. So all the letters are sent and received through the system, because in our universities in general and most of the universities, letters are the main proper channels to send and receive between the departments. So we are mainly dedicating the system to manage all the content management as a content management system between all the departments.
Don't you communicate like between departments with the emails or?
No, definitely. Email is another channel that we use inside the department. As the head of department, they always send emails to their faculty members. Even in our university, if we do have any announcement, we send it through the webmaster to all people. But we are talking about a letter sent to another department. No, emails is not used as an official channel between all the departments at the university. It should be a letter written, signed by the head of the department or the dean or the vice president and sent to another department.
So maybe it's Laserfiche for the correspondence system only?
Yes, definitely, yes.
Okay.
What you've managed to do is incredibly impressive. I mean, it's truly impressive. Are there other universities in Saudi Arabia looking at what you're doing in order to replicate it?
Hopefully soon, because now we are working in a big project to integrate it with the Ministry of Higher Education, which is the main umbrella for all the Saudi universities. So I'm pretty sure if we get succeeded of integrating this system with the ministry, The ministry themselves, they are thinking recently to adopt this system on their own work. So I'm pretty sure if we've been able to integrate it, I'm pretty sure it will be reputable, it will be worthwhile to be deployed in other universities. So thank you so much for your elaboration on this.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today. I actually had a
Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for attending. I actually had a little discussion with Dr. Majed today, and he was telling me how in 2012 only there were absolutely no e-services that are running very smoothly. And by today, in 2014, he has a whole 100% paperless campus. So it's definitely extremely impressive. Thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you. Another round of applause.